I got a nuclear bomb, so you keep quiet, all right? War is inevitable. Now the possibility of a global war is much, much more. If we take away that one thing, the number of conflicts on the planet will come down significantly. See, as long as human beings are in a compulsive, instinctive reaction state, war is inevitable. War means husband and wife can fight at home. It's a war. Only thing is, they're not nuclear powered, all right? I'm saying the bitterness and the heat is the same. More war more wars happen in families between brothers, between husband and wife, between parents and children than India, Pakistan, yes or no? Yes. Only thing is, they're empowered. So just because we are identified as a nation, do we have to necessarily fight? See, one great example, I've spoken in various European thing where I've constantly been appreciating them. See, World War II, what a bitter fight. Literally nobody who lived in Europe was left untouched, almost everybody lost somebody, and just about the whole place was demolished and everything they had to rebuild. But in the same generation, they came to their senses and formed a European Union. Today, people are trying to look at it only as an economic union. No, it is a certain consciousness. With people that you fought so bitterly, now you're willing to open up and be like one nation. That's a fantastic thing. So I'm saying human beings are capable of doing that. They still retain their national identities, their language, their culture, but they made it a union. I think for this we need some kind of economic parity, otherwise it won't happen, all right? Without economic parity, if you open the gates, it'll all go crazy. So economic parity is needed. For that to happen in Asia, it's much easier than in Europe, actually.
Yeah.
So a nation union could happen in the next 25 or 50 years, which we should definitely aim for. So now the danger is Asia becomes one union, Europe becomes one union, America's become one union. Now the possibility of a global war is much, much more. So the problem is this, the global geopolitics is run with the theory of hegemons. Somebody has to be a hegemon. So when two hegemons came, it became war and then Cold War, they don't fight directly, they make other people fight all the time, it's like chicken fight. You leave small people to fight all the time, but you are the one behind the game always. Even now, whatever war's happening, there is somebody big behind the whole scene, all right? So the dangers of human conflict is always there. If this has to go in your mind and my mind, there should be no anger, there should be no hatred, there should be no conflict. Oh, how will I make a difference? Because that's how world happens. As long as there is anger and hatred and irritation in our minds, fight is not far away. Hello? Is fight far away? Someday when we step on each other's toes, because in the world it can happen, I'll step on your toes one day, then there is going to be conflict. So, national identities safest compared to smaller identities, because smaller identities lead to daily conflict.
Right.
National identities, the advantage is both countries generally understand what is the consequence of this. The consequence is not going to be good for anybody, so that's not a great way to prevent war, but unfortunately, we're in that place, deterrent. I got a nuclear bomb, so you keep quiet, all right? So, this is not the best way to manage human beings, but unfortunately, we're still there. We're still not in that kind of consciousness where we can embrace everybody and live wonderfully. In all this, if we are fighting for land, we can sit down and negotiate. We are fighting for economic wealth, we can sit down and, do business somehow.
Yeah.
The problem is, there's a whole lot of fight for gods. Once you're fighting for your God, there is no compromise, because if you make a deal, you have forsaken your God. In this, there is no compromise. If we take away that one thing, the number of conflicts on the planet will come down significantly. War is part of the economic situation in the world. Too much has been invested in it. There is no way you can do without a war right now. If wars don't happen, certain economies will just sink. Wars need to happen. Somebody has to buy their stuff and somebody has to use it. If nobody uses it, it'll be no use. So before we shed crocodile tears, we must understand that there are things that we're unwilling to change. We're not changing the roots of it, we want to change the consequence of it. Life doesn't work like that. What is the nature of the roots we plant, that is the kind of consequence we bear.